Said no swearing.
Test. Oh, there we go. Hey. We're in. The music wasn't playing because the music dropped out. So it was genuinely just.
And we're now talking to chat. We're live. Hello, everyone.
All right.
Coming to a house near
You can now change the
Welcome
screen.
to oh yeah, I
From
can
the
too.
deep
Hello.
depths of Australia.
There's no background. What is this?
Wow.
Wow,
Where's
we
the
really
kangaroo?
tested this. We tested this really good.
Whoa.
I'm wearing
gonna
a black hat on a black background. There's not
There
even
you
a
go.
point.
Hold on.
Feeling is
It looks like
quite.
I'm wearing a fez.
Okay, that was a little bit excessive on the rubber shrinkage.
I'm feeling my corner is quite excessive at this
I wanna
point.
bring it
Does
down.
anyone want to Bob Ross?
please.
Nah, I like it.
Keep it on.
Alright.
What's up? What's up, everyone?
Alright.
What?
Oh, you're not muted on
There
my
we go.
phone.
There we go. All right.
Greetings.
There's no
Welcome.
there's no chat overlay.
Greetings, everyone. There's no chat overlay because we don't need to see that. You can all be blind to chat.
We don't need
phones. Have you got it? You were
have it in
actually
front of us.
on your phones
Yeah.
with it. Everyone's got chat.
Yep.
I will get
What's
it
up,
open.
chat?
But we need to be able to see chat on the stream.
Okay.
That's what I said. Put a chat overlay.
Oh,
No, it's
not in theater mode or whatever.
There it is.
Okay.
There it is.
Oh my god.
There it is. Go back to the monitor, the thing that you have.
How?
Press the button again.
Boom.
Okay, now.
All right.
This is so well structured.
Yeah. This is actually the smoothest it's ever gone. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is going really well so far. So, welcome
Nice.
everyone. As you can see, we have some special Swedish guests, which is my favorite thing to say. They bought
Have you
Swedish
said it
candy.
many times
Maybe pull it to
before?
the top, maybe.
Or first?
Well, actually, no, but it's now my favorite thing to say.
So, chat box doesn't work
Why?
because nothing comes
Put
up.
it to the top of the list, maybe it's.
We brought too much
Whoa.
Swedishness.
Has anybody sent a message?
The curse,
Hey.
the curse of the Swedes.
I'm guessing it's not synced with YouTube properly.
Should be.
Yeah.
I'll add a new
Shalom
chat
from
box.
Israel.
We have 280 people watching technical difficulties.
Always. That's streaming, baby.
Hi, everyone. So let's get started with some questions. No one's talking.
Well, we're working on it.
Oh, the chat overlay. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's warm it up by.
Is that a word you know?
Köttbullar.
JM Haddon says
Meatballs.
so professional.
I know, right?
Yeah. So that's
Have
good.
they
Why
not
does the K
seen our
sound
hair?
sound like sh?
This is such a look. I'm doing this for PAX next year
Honestly,
for
I
sure.
feel like those shoulder pads coming
like-
over to the Bob Ross head.
I feel like this wig.
I'm gonna paint a nice little landscape in your blood.
Yeah.
I don't think you're getting chat box.
Yeah, do you
I've
know-
just tried to.
Hey Rob, can you take that fez off and go
I don't. Rob's not going to be able to do anything.
Sorry, I swore.
with poops?
It's been
with
ever
these-
since we
with
got
these
here.
things.
He's been so disappointed in everything happening. I think this is just icing
That's
on the
our
cake.
Rob. Classic Rob.
I don't
Classic
think Rob's
Rob,
going to be able to do anything that I couldn't. Chat box is just not working, even though it's there.
Nice. Shall we
Nice.
screen record a chat from one we put down there from YouTube chat?
You want to run OBS and Streamlabs?
Sure. Or you have it showing up in Streamlabs?
Wait, if it's a YouTube stream, the chat's on the side of the YouTube stream anyway when they
Yeah,
rewatch
people
it.
see it directly.
Yeah.
It's in their
Oh,
own box. You don't
okay.
need it repeated twice.
All right, we can just.
You've all got
it's
chat
just-
on your phone.
Okay, all right, we're good. We're good.
We've all got
It's
chat.
It's a crutch we're used to.
We're all
So
happy.
I just gotta hold this here. So
Someone
Go
said
the
they'd,
sweetness, yes.
Right.
they'd appreciate any non-black background. We wanted space kangaroos.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's up with
All
the
right.
space
Well, hang on. We
kangaroos?
also have. Is the down straight screen safe?
It's a picture of a kangaroo.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Here we go.
Yeah. But
this-
it's not
is
as
this
cool
what
as a
you want?
space
Yeah.
kangaroo. It's like
Well,
a 5 out of 10.
You know, it's a start.
It could be a
Hold
10.
on. Can you go back and I'll get to work? I'll get
Yeah.
to work.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm huge. Look at me.
All right. All right. We're going back.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
All right.
Oh, now you're small again.
Okay,
Were you big? Were you a big boy?
it's about the same.
Okay.
I reckon if you bring out the fez again.
Do you want the afro?
No.
I feel like I'm hogging all the cool.
Yeah, but
I mean, you know, there's a gradient of afros happening in the top row
the thing
from most afro to most to mullet.
but the thing with
yeah.
the thing with your look, Jazz, is like it just wouldn't be as powerful, as beautiful if you split it up. So it's like
Yeah.
You just got to keep it all.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
So, welcome everyone to Tabletop Time Talk. Usually, we stream on the Tabletop Time roleplay channel and we roleplay. But this is a special occasion. We have a couple of guests you might recognize from the Squidmar YouTube channel, Emil and Lucas from Squidmar Miniatures. Such a special occasion, we thought we'd stream on the old mini channel, the old mini main TTT channel.
And we're all here for it.
We are. We have zero plans, but we're open to suggestions. We've begun with costumes, which we think is a pretty strong opener. But we're open to suggestions. All right. You know, bloody calm down. Filmed here in a live studio audience in Australia. So,
So bad with the.
Emil could let his hair grow like this. Like, hey, dude, Alice, just Google Emil Zonaria, and you're gonna find
With a
something
Z.
beautiful with a Z. Yeah, Zonaria.
There are some pretty fine. Images.
Yeah, I feel like it's
Zumaria?
Zunaria.
with a Z.
Zunaria.
is that
No,
relating to the wig?
Z O? Yeah, they wanted me to grow my hair out, and I said, "Go Google,
Google.
Okay.
go Google." How was Ark? It was awesome,
Very nice.
very fun.
Tell us about
Where's
your
the music gone?
That's a good question.
They're not on lyric.
Justin started doing.
First question.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Laser tag.
So take us through the events of Ark, because some of us weren't able to attend, and some of the people in stream wouldn't have. I didn't even know there was a live stream. I'm so cut because I was looking for one. And
Yeah,
You know
I kept
what?
sending Murray
Yeah.
pictures of himself.
I'm just gonna Google the topics, and then we're just gonna have the topic on the
Cool.
computer.
nice.
Top
So we're currently talking about
Yeah.
Arc 40K,
Yeah.
which was celebrating their 25th anniversary.
Yeah, and
And
Arc Open.
the first ever Arc Open.
inaugural.
And that was really exciting because for a few reasons. Number one, these people came down and judged Arc Open,
Yeah, low key.
low key.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
There was a Titanic Titan board.
Yeah.
That was pretty
Also
neat.
nothing major.
There was.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
With a couple of Titans. There was a Warhound Titan. There was
Oh.
a couple of Reaver Titans. There was even
A very red.
a very red board.
Titans
a
are
Mars
so
board.
hard right
There was
now.
also
Yeah.
another class of Titan, bigger than the Reaver Titan, smaller than the Imperator Titan.
Was it the Warlord?
It was.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I've heard
I
of
would
those.
argue
Heard
that your
about
hair
those.
was longer.
This one or that one? Yeah, it was
Yeah,
longer
yeah.
back then. Yeah.
Yeah, it's longer than Dave's.
Yeah, I had about 60,
Yeah.
65 centimeters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up your game, mate.
Well, it doesn't stop
Can I
growing,
just
so
say,
I'm working
Emil,
on it.
You look good in makeup.
Thank you.
Just saying, you really
Yeah.
pulled that off.
I'm beautiful all the time.
That's true.
Yeah.
But that's a look that not a lot of people could do.
Yeah.
And I'm impressed.
We should do
Thank
a
you.
segment later.
You're just in the shadows. I'm gonna
Yeah.
diminish Rob a little bit. I'm
do you
sorry,
ever crack
Rob.
it?
Fine.
Do you ever crack it out for the channel? Do you ever,
Put on some makeup.
yeah,
I don't know. Have we
Bit of a
did we
thrash,
do
bit
the
of a-
makeup on any of the sketches?
No,
we did?
we've actually never did it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done the cross and the,
missed
Yeah.
opportunity.
We've done like a few Harry Potter
like a lightning bolt.
lightning bolts in the forehead of Lucas.
It's so mutated that you have headphones on and just one ear popping out of the top corner of your head. Like I feel like you're really missing the point of these headphones.
It's like that Arthur
like a
Kids
neck
TV
pillow,
show.
right?
They do that
Yeah.
all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So Ark. By the way, just side note,
We can't do the Auntie Donna podcast thing,
which is what
which is a 40-minute podcast with a topic, and they basically filibuster their own topic for 38 minutes.
What is the topic for this?
Well, if the topic was Arc 40K, the idea was every time we'd just constantly talk about crap and then get back to Arc, and then someone would
with some
start talking about the Auntie Donna podcast instead of talking about Arc.
Okay, I'm with you.
Well, we're basic. Look, those in YouTube chat, we are here to hang out. Basically, this is a good chance for us to catch up outside. We've been making content all day. You have that to look forward to. 3 spicy videos being put together in the studio.
Did you guys record?
I thought you were.
Did we record what?
Did you? I thought someone was recording for me.
What are we recording? What are we talking about? You're
Did
scaring
no
me.
one film today?
No.
Sorry,
No.
Sorry. It's just his daily
Just
vlog.
no, you did it all.
I thought Tom was
Murray's
doing
doing
it.
like a food tasting video in the lunchroom. Yeah. Pretty sure.
Wasn't Tom running around filming it?
Yeah.
It's getting so warm with this hat. I'm sorry. I have to remove it.
I'm genuinely tempted to.
Don't
Don't pike on me.
Don't whip out
I
the
am
quiff.
the only one left in a
Sorry.
costume
Okay, yeah,
that I can't
okay.
physically take
Oh
off.
God! Yeah,
there
now
we
you're
go.
crushing an entire another demographic.
Yeah. Cool.
We went from Iron Maiden to Judas Priest.
Nice. What were we even talking about? I'm tempted.
Not Ark, that's for sure.
Genuinely tempted to film like a food review video with no cuts, no background music, and a slower than is comfortable pace that goes for 12 minutes straight in the lunchroom with terrible audio.
And put it on Jazza Channel.
Yes.
Have you considered just making
like
completely emulating every facet of a Nikado avocado video and filming that?
Yeah.
100% exactly.
Maybe
Straight up
not
mukbang.
every facet.
100. Okay, 90%.
Okay. There are certain facets I might exclude.
How do you feel about making 6 of those 12 minutes sour herring?
I'd be so down for that.
You know that Murray has a can. This has come up like
Yeah.
5 times.
Yeah.
Murray has a can of the
3-year-old.
exclusive
Exclusive.
surströmming.
Surströmming, yeah.
Surströmming.
He's getting there.
That is like no longer sold in Sweden, and it's apparently the good shit.
He
Oh,
has
I did
a
it.
can
Sorry.
Why?
of
Sorry,
Oscar
why?
surströmming.
Yeah,
Why?
I know, right?
Because
He has
Murray
it.
likes
What it is.
interesting food.
Well, that's probably
Does
the
he has
story.
he eaten it before? He's just got the can.
Oh, you can't reuse the can. If you open it, you eat it.
Well,
Really
yeah.
just-
So is he gonna? I didn't think.
I think
didn't
he's-
he
how
opened
long
it.
has he
and
had
thought,
it for?
I'll save
The
you for
longer you have it, the
later,
better.
and
Takes a
rolled
couple
the.
of
Honestly?
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
The more swollen it gets, the better it is.
Was
So
it the can? The
yeah,
swollen
the can.
can.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Is he
but
willing to bring it in?
I cannot be part of this discussion.
Why?
I genuinely
he
love
genuinely
this shit.
likes rotten
It's
fish.
so good.
It's like I don't know. I'm not proud of this. I've many times thought about divorcing him, just because.
That's
of
why
this.
I'm wearing a ring and Emil is not anymore.
I removed it.
Yeah.
You're married
But
to
that was because my fingers got too
salty
fat.
fish, pickled herring. Yeah.
So,
Cool. So,
For those wondering,
so,
I'm not
40K.
engaged to Lucas. It was different.
let's take some conversation chat themes ideas from chat. So let us
Yeah.
know in the chat. But in the meantime, we're going to talk about Ark. So take us through both of your experiences as special guests, all 4 of you.
I was gonna say super chat questions, but I don't even know if you've got it turned on.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We will. So super chat questions get priority.
So
Otherwise.
Arc 40K.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
names are just there.
Were you?
Huh?
oh yeah.
Were you both? Did you both go for one day, or did you go for?
We went for both days.
Yeah, we went for both days as well.
Cool.
We were there mainly.
Did you
as,
cross over much, or were you both sort of busy in your own corner?
No, we had a good amount of time to chat and hang out.
I think that there, like, certainly on the Saturday, there was all parties involved were exceedingly tired as
Yeah.
well. So we had just burnt the midnight oil getting the Titan board done, and it was very relieving. Oh my gosh, that's so much better. I don't know what just happened, but I can
Did I
hear
just-
myself now.
You lowered the music.
I can now hear myself, and there's no music.
There were 2 people who were soloed.
What does that mean?
I don't know,
Everyone else maybe.
but I pressed 2 buttons that I think
You know
should
what
have been
solo
pressed.
means?
Nope.
Okay, to go back.
Super
to the
chat is
discussion.
off.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
So no one will get priority.
Basically, yeah, no one gets priority. So basically,
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't fix that.
how
right now.
tall is Emil? He's
a big man.
Are you willing to answer that question on stream?
Yeah, yeah.
You're a tall
You
boy.
never ask a girl about her weight.
That's
No.
true. Well, I would.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm,
If it
I'm,
was
I'm,
relevant.
I'm almost 195 in centimeters. That would be just below 6'5".
Wow. There you go.
So that's me.
Do you get people constantly asking you if you play basketball?
No, because nobody plays basketball in Sweden, so nobody
And
cares
if you
about
do,
that
you're not
question.
that tall.
Okay.
Yeah. We do get. Yeah, I don't know. But this weekend, I think everyone I met told me I was tall.
Yeah. Just so you're aware.
Yeah.
Constantly.
With one exception, maybe Trent Dennison, because he's 1 or 2 centimeters taller than me. He was the only one who towered me at the event. So, yeah, but we had a good time.
Yeah, I had a really good time. It was super cool. We'd previously gone to PAX as guests in September of last year, and that was the only other thing we've ever gone to. So October, whatever. But that's mostly video gaming here, but it's a very big convention, so we kind of get like mostly ignored by most people, but then occasionally recognize it was really weird to be like everyone was super excited to see us.
Yeah.
And I have to say the big thing for me that was really, really amazing was it completely refreshed my love for the hobby. See, because we are in the country, we work all the time in a studio, and it's very rare for us to see outside our local gaming community in a country town, which is only about a dozen people. So you hear the same attitudes, the same story, and see the same armies all the time. So to go and see like 200 people who are entirely there for the love of the craft and are super passionate about everything that we do was super cool. It made me want to paint. It made me want to play. I don't even like Warhammer 9th edition. I think it sucks. I still wanted to play. I was like, man, I want to build a Warhammer army and play a game.
Yeah. I feel like for us, we were mainly there for the painting event because we were juries.
And we don't know anything about 40K.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we do know stuff, but not about playing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we mostly hang out in the painting area. We walked around in the playing area for a bit, just checked out people's armies, talked to people. It was really amazing, and yeah.
And it's quite the same for us because we come from a smaller-ish town in Sweden, and we have our sort of set local community. And it's always nice to sort of, just as you guys said, like just come out there, meet new people, because we're just nerds.
Why don't you just open
like
a
everyone
Chrome
else,
browser?
like
On your phone.
we want to
Everyone-
catch.
Everyone was like incredibly friendly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
What?
It was really, really nice. And we also met Victoria Lamb as well, and she was lovely as well.
So nice.
Yeah, really nice person.
And that was really that was super cool for me as well because I've been a kit basher and converter for a long time. Like I get a lot of joy out of building and kit bashing models. Especially, I'm the sort of person who doesn't want the same army as someone else ever. And I'm like, I've used Vic's bits for like 10 years, and then also like grew up looking at white Golden Demon winning paint jobs and stuff. And then I was like, oh my god, it was kind of surreal to have Vic coming up and being like, you guys are awesome. I'm like, what? No, you're awesome. What are you talking about? We're just YouTubers.
Yeah.
I might have name dropped you in like the first few weeks of knowing Dave when I was like shopping in his shop. It's like, have you heard of like Squidmar? It's like, I think we just like got in touch or something.
Yeah.
I forget. Oh, you were a name drop. Just thought I'd let you know. Because I love you.
I might have name dropped you a few times too.
Oh, buddy. This is funny. This is all the love in the room is palpable.
My dad's name dropped you more than I've name dropped you.
No.
It's very
Mutual
sweet, but
love.
very embarrassing. My dad's
You know,
always like, "Oh my god, my son, he
the Jazza
he works
guy.
with Jazza."
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's
What's
very
our
sweet.
favorite thing in Australia you've seen so far? Like we haven't seen Australia. Oh, we got to walk around Jazz's
Got
ranch.
to see our little animals.
So that's the most beautiful thing we've seen in Australia, I think. Yeah.
Aw, you really haven't seen a lot of Australia.
No,
though, to be
that's what I
honest.
just said.
Yeah.
We haven't seen anything else.
I'm glad to have been the best Vista experience of Australia that you've had.
We've seen the inside.
You
of
arrived
the,
at midnight in the pitch black, so
Yeah, but we've also seen the inside of the Batman, which is the venue for Arc 40K.
That's
we've
cool.
also seen the inside of House of War. Yeah. And
I
the hotel
haven't been
room.
there. I really want to go.
Yeah, it was really cool store. I think.
Yeah.
Was the table set up in there when you were in there?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And they have a really big dragon
They
that
put it
moves.
upstairs. The table. Is it
Was
Did-
it cool
did
to see
people
the
enjoy
model
it?
that you'd sent there that they have there too?
It was really
Thunder
weird
Hawk?
because it's kind of like left my memory since we sent
Yeah.
it out.
We never expected to see it again when we shipped it to the other side of the
Such
continent.
a small world.
And we at least for me, it was such a love-hate thing because building it was, what did we spend like 2 full weeks building it, and I hated every minute of it.
Yeah.
It was the worst experience in my life.
It was such good content though.
Yeah. And then we had And like when we painted it up, posted the last video and put it out on eBay, and this just crazy thing happened that you could never expect to happen, which like gave us a lot of good memories as well. So it was really like when we saw it again, it just like gave us both those feelings
It was like,
back.
oh, it's
it's
so
like-
nice, and PTSD.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly like that. Yeah.
All right, super chat works now. I think I fixed it.
Okay. There was
Sorry
a
for
question here that
taking
I
over.
was interested in mostly because I want to answer it for self-interested reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Someone asked, would it be likely to see any of us at Warhammer Fest this year? And I just want
Where's
to say
Warhammer Fest?
it's in Nottingham, Games Workshop.
No, it's in Manchester.
Manchester. Oh, is it?
Yes.
Manchester, England, England.
Lucas is going.
Yeah.
Well, Lucas is going. When is it?
The 29th of April to the 1st of May.
This year?
Yes.
So
All these things are so
the answer is,
Yeah.
isn't that like the same time as Adepticon?
Yeah, it sounds pretty close.
It's like a month.
Oh,
1 month
April,
apart.
April,
Yeah.
not March. Right. Well, there you go. There's your answer. My answer was going to be, if ever Games Workshop invited me anywhere in England or pretty much anywhere in the world, I would go because it would be a dream. I've always wanted to go to
And
Warhammer World,
you
no matter
heard
what.
it here first.
Yeah.
On the Squidmar YouTube channel.
No.
We have a good
Not yet.
question here. Did people freak out when you walked into House of War? It was closed.
Yeah,
So
it was closed.
Oh.
yeah. There was just we and the store owners there. So
Oh, okay. You mean the
Did
first
the
time?
dogs just like look at you and be like,
Did you do a meet and greet?
You did a meet and greet event, yeah?
yeah,
Yeah, a small workshop within the
yeah.
base.
So it's just the people who had like signed up for the event. Yeah,
Cool.
that was really fun.
Yeah. What was there? Was there like a project or like?
Yeah, we taught people how to step up their basing game, like
Yeah, cool.
building cooler, easier bases.
Yeah, and just had a chill evening, like
Yeah.
4 hours of hobby and hanging
That's
out
cool,
with people.
man.
And, yeah.
Yeah. I love that stuff.
That is super cool.
Yeah.
I talked to a few people. I will say, I won't say much on live stream. There are a couple of people in the Victorian scene that I think it was very good to actually shake hands and speak face to face. And there's a lot of interest in doing more stuff in the community.
That's so nice. I feel like it's really coming together here. Oh, super chat from Roush. Thank you.
Oh,
Did you guys make the certificate of authenticities of the Titan into dice roll boxes?
It's
Those
kind of
things
a cool
we shredded?
idea.
Yeah.
But I actually took them home so I could sell them to people who want to sell recast Titans.
Yeah, me
It was
too.
a great way to like sort of scum a little bit of money off the top from my workplace. They're sitting on the table, I think, out there.
I like the gags about photocopying that.
It's because you know why? It's because I've existed in this space, caring about this for a long time, and whenever you see people buying or selling Titans on like Facebook Marketplace or anything, it's like if they don't have the certificate of authenticity, people always are going to be like, are they recast? Are they not recast? And people care a lot.
But the
about
certificate isn't hard to forge.
It's not a great
an
certificate.
A4 just
It's
general
gloss
laser
paper.
color printer,
Yeah.
like
It's
fine.
It
So
should
bad.
be like
local office shop.
yeah.
You know, print 100 of these, please.
Yeah.
What's sad is that Games Workshop have proven that they actually have the printing capacity to do amazing, because they've done some of those like limited edition maps and stuff,
Foil
and like on like fake vellum, and they could totally do really legit
Considering
certificates.
it's a $2,000 model.
Well, that,
Well, let's be fair, they don't even wash them.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so-
and it's so baffling that they have this whole separate. Well, I mean, just like Forge World is like a separate thing, but it's so prestige in its reputation and expensive and long running that it's just living on its laurels from 25 years ago and done nothing new.
But do you know how Forge World got started?
No,
Do you know the history of it?
no, please.
So there were two different companies making large resin models that had a license from Games Workshop. It was Epicast and Armorcast.
Yeah.
And they made Titans. They made like the big Titans. The first. Yeah. They made the first Warlord Titan, Warhound Titan. You had the Armorcast Mega Gargant.
Yeah.
And they were amazing. Like all of them look super cool. Check them out if you want to.
Wow.
And
For
they
their
had,
time.
Yeah. No, but I love them. And honestly, probably better casts than Forge World. And they had an agreement, I think, for 2 or 4 years. And when that time was up, Games Workshop said, well, they're making money. We want to make money too. So they just didn't give them an extension and just started making the stuff themselves. So they didn't even come up with that market, but they took that from people. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's kind of how this started.
Yeah. You.
These are amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, are these the models that?
Do you have one of
Emil
them?
was
The
talking
orc one?
Not an original. I have like a 3D printed, like inspired copy.
Yeah.
And it's printed a little. It's a little bit smaller than the original.
Huh?
The Eldar.
The Eldar one looks weird.
Could you say
I almost
your
bought you an Eldar
favorite
Titan.
model,
Almost did.
if just off the top of your head, if you
Yeah.
had to?
Like depends on favorite in what.
Yeah.
Like to paint, to just to my dream model to own that I don't own. My favorite model in my collection.
I'm curious.
That's
Is there a
they're all
model
really
that
good
you want that you don't
questions.
own? And if so, why don't you own it?
Yeah, the Armorcast Mega Gargant is probably the one that I want the most.
That's the content you're going to make then,
you
isn't it?
I haven't seen one for sale in like 5 years.
Okay,
And when
so
they go
that's-
up for sale, it's like $2,000. And yeah, for just a collection piece, I don't know. Like,
I cannot. That's yeah. You make a very good point that today I've just had that. Well, yesterday when I
Yeah.
bought them, there's none, and why wouldn't I? Alfarius, and the only reason I haven't bought him is because I don't have a big enough army to justify Primarch. But other than that, I now own a Warhound and a Reaver Titan. I for all the bad talk of Forge World, I got addicted.
Is it well, that's the thing. They're going through this. I am guessing from the outside, seeing how much Titans are sort of really becoming quite current.
yeah.
Oh no,
they've
they're
got-
already
But
old
are they
news.
really current, or is it just because we do this as a job? And
Yeah, well, I
like
don't-
we can do it as a business expense, like order one and make videos from them.
But we're
Like
influencers.
how many people do actually
Like-
own them? It's,
Can I throw out some information?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so for context, the certificates are numbered.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the Reaver Titan certificate was 3,100 and
yeah,
something.
and that one costs what is it, like $800?
It's $1,280 Australian
Australian, yeah,
for
so
the
about
body,
800,
and then
yeah.
another 500 and something for the
Yeah,
guns.
okay.
And they just jacked the prices up with
Yeah.
their price hike like yesterday.
Oh yeah.
So they're probably about $2,000 all said and done Australian, which is probably about 1,400 US, I would guess. So anyway, there's about 3,200 of them floating around in the world since they got made. But from a gameplay point of view, because I know a lot of you don't know games, the idea of them being current is ridiculous. They are less playable now than they've ever been in the
Yeah.
history of Warhammer. 40k, you basically can't use them. Like, of course, you can use them in some custom scenario that you and your friends make up. But in terms of their rules and competitiveness, even in a casual game, they are so bad you will lose before achieving anything. It's not even like, let's have, be like, no, it's dead on turn 2 and it did nothing. Great.
just because
They suck. Their rules are awful. No, their rules are awful. Like they have like 40 or 50 wounds in a system where an Imperial Knight has 30 wounds and they cost like 4 times as whatever.
Yeah.
They're terrible. And the only game system they can be sort of played in with decent rules is Horus Heresy, which has just been relaunched. And in Horus Heresy, they have a special rule. A super heavy unit can only be 25% of your total army size, which means a Reaver Titan being 1,500 points can only be used in a 6,000 point army. The standard game size is 2,000 or 3,000 points. So you're already playing double the large game size just to fit one Titan in. Warhound's 750, you can use them in smaller games. But aside from the Warhound, there's nothing really usable.
Yeah.
The Warlords, anyone who thinks you can play with a Warlord, except for the like Titan owning clubs in UK that are lucky enough to live in the UK where there's enough people with Titans to have these big events.
Yeah, it's a flex,
It's
basically.
it's a centerpiece.
Yeah.
It's a gorgeous diorama to frame your entire army around.
Yeah, and a life goal that people have. That was
Yeah.
sort of one of the reasons
like
for yours.
if you're in a situation where you have that kind of money to splurge on yourself, like
Yeah.
fine, go ahead. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Can you? Oh, there's a super chat to read before you
Yeah.
do that. Could I request that you swap the sides that Emil and I are on, just because I keep looking off screen and they keep looking off
There,
screen.
better.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
You know,
Come on,
I know you're saying Bob Ross.
Nestle into the.
You kind of look like a crazy brown-haired clown at the same time. Like, I think if you had a big bozo nose on, like...
What's going on? Everyone is dropping their outfits.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I am.
Don't pike on me, man. Don't you? Do you know what?
I still have.
I'm keeping the shoulders,
But
but I'm dropping the wig. Oh no!
There's. Can you watch
Caught.
Okay.
Nice, I still have my hat.
All right.
Lucas fell for
I'm
the
still in the
peer
game.
pressure. It was fun while it lasted.
It was. I feel it.
What do you guys think of the Age of Sigmar magazine Stormbringer?
Can you Google it?
Now, I don't
yeah.
have the context for this. Who can explain this to me?
So I googled quickly,
Uh-huh.
and Stormbringer is a magazine where you get a few miniatures. It's £299
For like the first issue, right?
Okay, yeah, something like that. And you get minis every week, it seemed like, or every month. I mean,
Ooh.
That's what you get by the end.
yeah, I don't know why not. It seems like a good way to get started and get some
context
minis
later.
to paint.
I actually think these magazines are fantastic.
Yeah.
But I think they can be a trap for people who don't want one of these armies. If you just want to learn how to play and get some models and you go, this is a cheap way to get models, it's like, it's a trap. If you want to collect Stormcast and you're new and you want to collect Crew Boys, or even better, you and a friend,
Yeah.
they're amazing.
Yeah. But I
so
feel like the
unwieldy.
people who buy this one is because they want one of the models to paint. Like you buy it just to have some more stuff to paint.
What's happened? Oh, your hair. Right.
I love the flourish.
I love the flourish then.
You were so in frame.
Okay. All right. Let's bloody continue.
Yeah, I guess it's up to you for like what you want out of the experience because the magazines, like White Dwarf's pretty alright in terms of like the content that it has in it.
Yeah.
It'll give you some good articles.
Look, you'll
and
never
stuff.
find anyone who's been in the Warhammer community for 20 years who thinks White Dwarf is what it used to be. White
True,
Dwarf used to be
true.
like the best
That's-
magazine
yeah,
on the
yeah.
planet.
But
Sure,
the
it's not.
problem is that all that content is for free on the internet, and it's
Yeah.
better on the internet. Like no shade on White Dwarf,
Mm.
like no shade on the writers or anything, but like there's like 15 new Warhammer YouTube videos every day telling
Oh, look.
history, lore.
Dude, even like just browsing through Instagram, especially when I was like getting back into the hobby and just like hashtag salamanders, hashtag 40K Horus Heresy or whatever, and just scrolling and
Yeah,
just
to get
looking at the
inspired, yeah.
talent, man.
Yeah.
And the amount of people you end up following who are like, holy crap, this is amazing. It's insane. Like, and like the flourishing niches of like green stuff sculpting or freehand painting or model conversion and all this stuff that
Yeah.
like there's so much and they're so much better
Yeah.
than everything in those magazines.
Yeah. I feel like
But it's the community and the nostalgia, and
Yeah.
I totally get it.
it was an important thing for the hobby,
Hmm.
like in its heydays. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's got tough competition.
When you look at the old White Dwarfs, and I mean the old White Dwarfs, like even the ones that were earlier than me, the 90s, they were amazing. Like they had art, because they used to do role-playing game, like preset campaign things. So they'd give you like scenarios, like the attack of the church at whatever, and they give you the full scenario. So much good content.
And Scratch builds.
I mean, they
stuff.
still do a lot of content, like extra rules and stuff. The problem is just that it becomes too bloated today.
Yeah.
Back then, you had a new army book every 4th year. Now there is one every 6 months.
Yeah, and it's interesting because the content that was in there, like I remember when I used to collect them as a kid,
Yeah.
was the stuff that you couldn't get because there wasn't online communities for it. So like Jim's paint job of this and that, and this is Sally's like Black Templar army and
Yeah.
that, and it's like they're like me, but they're in this cool magazine and they have like so many more models than me, but that would be so cool. Like there was this aspirational, real like personal element of it, which is totally replaced by social media.
Yeah.
And I think it possibly like the only people on the planet at the time with the resources to do the builds they'd showcase. Because I remember there was one that they built like an asteroid base and it's a big board and it's super custom.
But like, a lot of times that was Games Workshop staff.
Yeah, exactly.
And today they can't keep up with all the stuff that's...
Well, we are
a-
doing stuff.
Yeah, but a lot of them are amazing, and I know a lot of them, but like there's so many people doing creative stuff online and have that platform, like Instagram. There are people, yeah.
Lady Nuggy, I've never been so invested in a Warhammer conversation. I love it. Roosh asks, would Forge World be better off swapping from resin to CEOcast in-house small-scale plastic casting? I think they're so big that it wouldn't be
They
financially
don't
feasible.
need to make
No.
resin.
They
can
make so much
plastic.
money.
They could make them in plastic if
Yeah.
they wanted to.
It would probably be way cheaper.
I
Why do
think they will. Not all of it. They'll
Yeah,
keep doing
no.
it. But I actually suspect that some of these Some of these big kits we'll see in plastic one day. I would not be shocked if we do eventually get that plastic Thunderhawk.
Seocast, let's be honest, Seocast is more for people like us and small scale like developers. But like
it's okay, but it's not perfect. I think Forge World they're going to close it down. I don't think it's going to exist for many more years. There is no reason for it. Why would it have it?
They'll close it down so that 10 years later they can bring it back.
Yeah, but have you seen the line of Age of Sigmar stuff on Forge World? There's nothing.
But the thing I've heard a lot that they are trying to make it what it was 15 years ago. So they're not gonna I've heard that they're trying to make it basically no longer a place to go to buy a game system like it was with Horus Heresy is what exploded it into that. Yeah. And instead it will be like, this is where you buy your Necromunda random mini that they're only going to sell 1,000 of. Yeah. And that's kind of almost like...
But then they need to make the better kits. Like it needs to get better if it's gonna.
And why not just sell them at the regular Games Workshop stuff?
Yeah,
like have a limited edition or like the minis you want to sell 1,000 of.
But
on the JW page.
Like it's just shelf space costs money, and they want to have stuff there that they can have a high turnaround on. Sell a lot of. You see that already with even like the Warhammer stuff. Like 50% of the Warhammer stuff is just sold on their website. Mm-hmm. They don't have it in their stores.
Oh, I know all about that. Yeah. As a game store owner, their direct range system is horrible, and they also don't even bother to have packaging for it. Yeah. So it's in white boxes, which means as a game store owner, like occasionally we've ordered things for customers and like they've then just not picked it up because that's part of retail, right? It just happens. And then you're left with this white box with the worst profit margin of any product you've got in the entire store because you get a very tiny cut on that direct range. And you're just like, cool, how do I sell this? Whether I go and print out a picture of it and glue it on the front of the box?
Yeah. Just glue stick and... Rancid Fever asks, question for you all. What do you all feel is your best skill painting-wise? What skills do you want to improve on? Rob, do you want to start us off?
I'm really good at critiquing the paint
That's
job.
actually true.
That's my thing.
Oh, I have to interject. Remember, everyone who gets worried about the paint job, only ever accept critique from someone you would ask for advice.
Dave, you ask me for an opinion every time you paint something.
So I accept your critique, but I'm a glutton for punishment.
Hurt me, Rob.
Sorry, Rob. Please continue.
And what do you want to improve on? Being nice about it?
No, it's constructive usually.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That was your improvement?
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. Best painting skill and what you would like to improve on.
I mean, I feel like I can sort of achieve quite a high standard by quite little time. Like, that's always nice, I guess. And then what I would like to improve upon is like just improving in general, like pushing it even further.
A little bit better. Yeah.
Cool.
What am I good at? I'm really good with colors, I feel. That's like, it's not a painting technique, but it's important to get the miniature to look good. And I feel like that's a good strength to have.
I'm going to add to that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just going to add to that. But your understanding of light and how to explain that is really cool, really strong. I think one of the strongest out there because that's one of the hardest things to understand. Yeah. And to two-dimensionally explain three-dimensional light fall.
Yeah.
Like, you're the only person I've ever actually understood or heard that the highlighting of like the in between the muscle groups and how they face the highlight the same way the top does was like an aha moment for me. That's like I've noticed in all good paintings ever since. Yeah. Miniature and otherwise.
That's cool.
Yeah. Anyway,
I appreciate
what
that.
do you want to improve on? And by the way, I want to come back to you, Lucas, because I don't accept. Well, I just want to get better. Pick something. Come on.
Okay, so I want to improve. Freehanding, that was really fun. I kind of want to get better at that. So like illustrating style stuff. I also want to get better at giving myself time to paint.
Yeah, that ain't going to happen.
No.
The problem is you're so good at taking on projects and doing YouTube content. So
my kids will probably start moving out of the house in about 8 years. So I think then it's going to improve.
Sure. Yeah. All right, Lucas, pick something to get better at.
Just do some marketing for you.
Well, here's
I'll
the
get ours
thing.
up too,
Like,
don't worry.
Yeah,
I just want to improve. Like in 10 years, I want to be the best in the world.
That's pick a thing. What's the next thing you want to improve on? Come on.
Patience.
Yeah, that's more like a time management thing. Like actually getting time to paint. It's the same with me. Like
Yeah.
having to spend 8 hours a day painting minis. Sometimes it's a problem because then you're not as excited about getting home and painting minis. I guess.
I'm trying to think of something you're bad at, but I'm like airbrushing. You should get better at airbrushing.
Yeah, but I
if
just
you'd like,
don't
I can
like
have
it.
a look at your models and tell you.
Yeah.
But it's like
Yeah,
I
sure,
think that's-
airbrushing.
Yeah, but I think that's one of the things. Like if you would do it for like 4 days, then you would be better than me at it.
But I just don't like airbrushing.
Yeah, it's because you don't do it.
Yeah, maybe.
Jen, what is your greatest
Yes.
painting strength, and what do you want to improve on?
See, I don't really know what my strength is, to be honest, but I've got lots to improve on, I feel like.
Don't do that. You can't
No,
do the
I
opposite
know.
of him.
I know. I think something that I've always been, people have said to me is I'm quite a fast painter.
You
which
are.
could be a good thing and a bad thing.
No, it's a good thing.
So, just to get stuff out.
The producer.
Yeah, no, like when I used to paint at the hobby store, the guys would always be like, "Oh, you like sacrificed something to the paint gods because you paint so fast."
Yeah,
whatever. But like I do pride in being able to paint fast.
And on
is
top of that, like
good.
what's interesting too is like it doesn't feel like fast painting that falls on easy solutions or a
compromising,
mild result.
Yeah.
Because like some of your really like some of the stuff you've punched out quick ends up with really strong and simple but like really effective non-metallic metal, and like the way you sort of like it's shockingly good sometimes with how like you can see that like if you're looking closely, but at the same time it looks like such a good paint job. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like so
Thank
that
you.
just shows a clarity of choice, which I think is really cool.
Thank you. I've also always painted for show and not necessarily for detail. So that coming on to stuff I want to learn is definitely trying to just refine my skills as a painter to learn to take time to put in that extra work. And there's just so much more I want to learn and become better.
Well,
as a
what's the
painter.
first thing you want to learn
For
better?
me, it's actually contrast. Like as an artist, I understand the theory of contrast, but when it comes to painting a mini, it's so different painting something that's 2D versus 3D.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much depth. And you can miss it so easily. So I feel like contrast is that thing I really just want to like nail 100%.
Yeah.
And then move on to the next phase, which would be like major color theory and light source and that sort of stuff. But I think, I've got some work to do on that particular part.
Cool. What's yours, Dave?
I think my strengths probably come pre-painting. I actually think that I'm pretty happy with my conceptual and scratch building. Like I think that my ideas for conversions and what I put together is usually pretty cool, and like staging for minis. But when it comes to specifically painting, I'm going to say I am good at precision. So we don't often get a huge amount of time for it here, but my like brush control and ability to do really
Your
neat
freehand
things.
stuff's really
When
spicy.
I have the ability to do it really well. I just don't often get there. I have very good but areas to improve on and the thing I want to get better at is definitely like color and light theory. I always say I'm sure like many hobbyists, I entered the hobby from a wargamer background. So I learned the Games Workshop method and then have slowly been, I almost consider it like developing as an actual artist. Like I'm trying to learn how to do color theory and light theory.
Programming.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I mean, I get it. Having a formula that allows people who don't think of themselves as artists to produce something that is painted to be like, wow, I feel like I'm an artist. I'm surprised I made that, which is the result, really. Like I get why they have that system, and it is like paint by the numbers.
It's coloring. I call it 3D
Yeah.
coloring book. That's what I call Warhammer.
100%.
I think I made a Twitter post the other day that was like, I realized that what if I could tell my primary school teachers that I do 3D coloring books for a living? Because it's sort of, it's like color in the lines.
Yeah.
Jazza.
I think what would be my greatest strength? I'm gonna mix mediums because I think my greatest strength is taking elements from different things and piecing them together. So it's sort of like I might be experimenting with one medium, but then I think one of my strengths is the ability to be like, okay, well, resin and then this glue and then alcohol ink and this scope. Like, I think 10 years of using so many different mediums has me being able to be quite fluid with different uses of them fairly confidently, mostly successfully. The thing I'd like to work on, I am not good at slowing down. I like the idea of slowing down. The problem is also, as things grow and we take on more, I have less time and I see more talented people. So I delegate the slowdown work so things can keep moving at a certain pace. So I'd like to get better at that, but maybe that's a retirement gig if I'm being realistic, you know. There was
So
a
my
question.
8-year plan is your 40-year.
Yeah, I'm just honest with myself. That's the only difference. It's your retirement plan. You're just in denial. Give it another 5 years. Then you'll be like, yeah, I'm going to be 80 when I slow down. All right.
I just wanted to add, you're also really innovative. Like the fact that I can be like,
buddy.
how do I do this thing? You're like, just use this.
Yeah.
Like a total, like the alcoholics for the windows, the stained glass windows. And I was like, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
So you're really good at, finding those mediums and
Thanks.
mixing them.
Many years of experience
Yeah.
with the entire artistic world gives
Yeah.
you a really good edge there.
Mucking around a whole lot.
Dabbling before diving.
Bloody, I've done a few dabbles here and there, if you know what I mean.
We got some
there's
super
a
chats,
question.
eh?
There's got a few to catch up on. New Dog Prime asks, will Squidmar be painting any Gate Crash minis? Well, you've got some minis too. You got some spicy minis, so maybe we just share some files around. We'll check. Have you sent us any of?
Have you? Have I? Yeah, you did a video on it.
Yeah, we did. All right.
My
cool.
goodness.
But yeah, I thought we had. I just wanted to check.
I actually have a question just out of interest.
Yeah.
Now, I'm bringing them up on the screen.
Yeah.
Which is your favorite Gate Crash mini? And you
Oh,
don't
I
have to
think-
like
I think
you
I got
don't
it.
have to like any of them, really love them.
Yeah.
Just which do you prefer?
Can we look through them?
So that's right. So I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
have
open
to
up my
move
phone so I can see it
away.
bigger because the screen is a little bit small there.
So we have Chetsu and Hypatia.
oh, wait,
They're
wow.
technically one. They're two, but they're technically one character. So yeah,
It's
but
tabletop time. Okay, minis, the ones that are for sale, I guess, on the website.
Yeah.
available
So that's
at
Hypatia up there.
tabletoptime.com.
Putting them on the spot now.
All proceeds go to support Gate Crash Games development.
And more
Tabletop
characters.
Time, and more characters.
I-
which we
honestly,
have-
I think it's a easy
Yeah,
easy
same.
one. Scrap is
Yeah.
the best.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
by
Why is that?
it's really well designed. It's got a nice composition. It's got like a unique look. Yeah, and it's just great. Mini.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you. That's so nice to hear. I am really. Oh my god! I can't.
Had to
I
go
feel
back
like
to
I
you for a
should
little bit.
treat our conversations like I've signed an NDA.
Yeah.
But I've seen some of the stuff Emil's been working on, and it's
Yeah.
very exciting. So there are conversations to be had because I know we're going to want to show some. some
Ways.
stuff
Yeah,
off.
but it's far out in the future.
Yeah.
it's like
Well,
2 years off.
You know,
So yeah,
we've all got long burn plans, but
Yeah.
I think we're all here for each other. So you know, it's very cool.
hyping each other up. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's super inspiring. Like I'm
Yeah.
just loving seeing the quality of stuff
Yeah.
you're developing.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I am ridiculously happy with the last campaign we did and the minis from the Sona, and I feel like we're stepping it up
That's super cool.
at least 2 more steps.
It's interesting because it seems like you've got a similar approach, which is that you're building these products, but you're also building a longer term world.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting because we've got the same approach. Like we want to build Gate Crash this game.
Yeah.
And we have like 2 other side games we've been playing with and like it's all, but it's basically IP. It's
Yeah.
like we want to build a game, but we want that to be something that can turn into 10 other games and something we love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something people can invest
Yeah.
in. So
I don't know if it's probably related to kind of how I am as a person, because whenever I get into something, I like get really into it, like the Warhammer world, and I watch all of the lore videos, I watch all of the, listen to all of the people talking about the rules and everything, and like when I start, then I start at the end where I'm most excited, and that is the world and the experience of being part of that. So
Yeah. We got 2 super chats. 3. I haven't seen. We got 3.
Roche
All
has
right.
a nice
we
comment
gotta
for
get
Jen.
faster.
Jen is great at pushing boundaries in her painting. No fear. It may not work, but that is a skill not everyone can bring themselves to.
Aw, that's so sweet.
I
Thank
agree.
You so much.
I
Do we have
agree.
a
Roche
applause?
paid $5
does have
to
an
tell
applause.
you that.
He's not using it. Missed opportunity.
Thank you. That's so sweet.
It is, and well deserved. And thank you, Roche. That was very nice. NZ says, "What are your opinions on the contrast, etc. ranges from APGW?" So, Army Painter, Games Workshop, Vallejo. Good, bad. Do you see them being a lasting aspect of the hobby or fading away? I'm going to speak before the experts speak and say I think they're freaking awesome. Like, I love them. Contrast didn't exist before I came into the hobby.
No,
and
not for me.
changed the
either.
game for me. And then seeing these other things that everyone's pushing the boundaries in this area of like high pigmentation with a slight opacity, really versatile paints that really add to like the biggest, like if I were to summarize it from my perspective before I hand it to the experts, is that I'm very time poor and I want to be able to do
Who's
more.
the
And it's a
expert?
window. It's a huge
It's
open
you
window
too.
to be able to do that. So, well, it's literally everyone else except Rob.
I'm gonna I want to piggyback on your point. I want to piggyback on your point.
All right, go on.
I've been painting my Necron army for 2 years at a horrendously slow rate
Yeah.
because number one, I have no free time. But when I do sit down, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna spend like an hour doing like the most tedious thing because I'm painting in a normal style. But contrast,
Yeah.
I like so
Boom.
much
Yeah.
quicker.
And
Done.
immediately satisfying to
Yeah.
put down a coat and be like, I've just done a leather jacket and looks sort of
Yeah.
cool
Yeah.
without having to do 4 steps,
Yeah.
right? Like,
No, I think it's amazing. I feel like if to me it doesn't matter which brand it is. Unfortunately, we haven't tried the Vallejo one yet. And it's just another great tool in the box, but specifically for beginners and younger people and people who don't have a lot of time. It's like it's gonna make it look better than with regular paints for most of those people.
And especially if you use it for army painting and through the airbrush.
Yeah.
Like it's such an amazing
Yeah.
tool.
I mean, not everyone have an airbrush, but
Yeah,
for
yeah.
those who have, it's like
Great.
so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, money too. Like they're cheaper as like to buy a contrast paint versus the different paints if you're getting into the.
Well, you don't need a layer of shade and a
Yeah,
highlight.
it's
In
just-
that sense, it can be cheaper. I think that as long as people understand that they're a tool in the tool belt, they're not revolutionizing anything in the sense of like they're not changing the way we're going to paint. I occasionally pick up contrast paints when I'm painting like D&D minis and stuff. But also I've learned recently that like sometimes as you get better at painting quickly, it's actually not the fastest way to
Yeah.
paint good results.
Yeah.
But you need to have a level of painting skill before you can go, oh, I'm actually going to use like an underpainting method and then highlighting and it's
Yeah.
going to look better. But, you know, whatever.
You know what I really want to try that I can't see in the near future being able to justify is oil painting on minis.
Oh yeah.
Because of the absolute opposite reason that I love contrast, and that is that it takes so long to set, but also I really just want to do it because I think it'd be really interesting and cool and vibrant. But I just can't justify it in time, and I can't figure out what the click is on whatever channel it would be done in. You know what I mean? So I feel like someone will do it on tabletop time, but I don't think it could be me just from the time perspective. But it just seems really cool. I want to give it a go
You
one day.
could do like oil painting and not call it a mini, like oil painting in 3D or like oil painting a sculpture and like find some and just make it look bigger than it is.
But the problem is I want to oil paint Space Marines. You know what I mean? Like I want to
right,
oil paint minis.
Okay.
You know, so it's...
But it's just 35 more years until you're 70.
I'm just hold my breath. We'll get there. Grollador says, with all the rumors that of the Lion returning in 40k, which Primarch or character from 30k would you be interested in seeing returning to 40k? What are the rumors?
All right, can you just
Dumbledore.
mute everyone except me so I can have
Dumbledore.
15 minutes of open mic?
That makes more sense.
All right. Okay.
Go
for
on.
it.
No, don't actually do that.
Tell us the story, Dave.
No. What were you gonna say? Team Squidmar, Emil, Lucas.
I know nothing of 30k.
Oh,
Okay.
I legit thing. It would be awesome for Rogel Dorn to turn up, like,
With
hey
no
guys, how's it going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Wolfie Boy?
All right. I'll give a briefie because I think I'm the most 30k and 40k person here. Maybe 40k there's competition, but 30k no. Bringing back characters is cool. The Lion is definitely returning, but the character I actually want to see return the most is probably Alfarius. But on the proviso that he doesn't return as a Chaos Primarch. I would love to see... I would absolutely adore to see Gulliman get backed into a corner by, like, because they're bringing all the Demon Princes back. Like, Fulgrim's going to come back next. All these big Demon Primarchs. And I would absolutely love to see Alfarius basically get Gulliman out of a jam and then have this face-to-face across a hallway where they know they can't communicate because one's a traitor, one's not. They know they can't have their big brotherly heart-to-heart, but Alfarius kind of gets to give the nod and then just, like, fuck off. That would be my favorite
for the uninitiated, is the idea that 30k Primarch, some of them went missing or whatever, and then they're coming back in the chronology of 40k.
So they all have an excuse for not existing anymore, and most of those excuses are terrible.
Yeah.
But most of them are still alive in some form. Lehman Russ, for example, charged into the warp, leading his 13th company, and has been supposedly in the warp fighting chaos for like 10,000 years, and he'll return one day. Vulcan is immortal, but Vulcan is the dumbest of all of them. Vulcan was like, when you need me, I will be here, but only when you find all the items of my costume. And then he like discarded his pieces of his relics across the galaxy and says, when you find them, I'll be back to help you. And then he's just sat there like twiddling his thumbs. He's immortal. He can't die. Yeah. He's what's it called? But he's sitting there.
Hey,
Trent. Perpetual.
It was really nice meeting you. I got to meet him this
Miscast is here
for the first time. He's such a cutie.
Yeah. it's an experience.
Yeah.
We love Trent.
Yeah.
We miss Trent. Wish you were here. See this empty space right here? That is taken. We replaced you with paint brushes.
He made fun of you for putting crayons in your hot glue guns in the live stream.
Yeah, no, that's worthy of being.
That's worthy of it.
Because he went to use the hot glue gun. He was like,
"Why is there crayons?
What's this color in there? Why isn't this hot glue gun work?" And I was like, "Because I shoved a crayon on it." And it's like literally in a video we put up 2 weeks prior of like, what are different ways to melt crayons? What about this?
Nope.
To put it in perspective,
But that's how I learn to innovate in positive ways.
Well, we went to ARC, and then we were sitting there doing some hobby on the Sunday, and he came up to us and he was like, "Do you have any green stuff?" We're like, no, sorry, buddy, we haven't got any. And he's like, "Have any super glue?" We're like, "Yeah, we do actually have super glue." I don't know what you did with the super glue, but I am fascinated to find out why you took it. The super glue from us. Miscast took it.
He took it.
Oh, he was doing scratch building on stream with Legends of Lore. Yeah, it made complete sense. Okay. It made complete sense. It was the way that he asked for it was very suspicious.
Yes.
And it seemed like something bad had happened to maybe the Titan table.
You got any super glue?
It was a little bit like that.
Yeah.
No worries, Gecko Master.
You got any more of that super glue, buddy? Can I have some super glue?
And also hello to Viv from Knights of Dice and Jacob from Conquest Creations.
Being in Australia, ever used SMS paints? I don't know what that is.
Trent
it's
used them.
Acrylic enamel paint line. And the
It's
answer
Aussie,
is,
isn't it?
unfortunately, no. Yeah,
I haven't used them either.
Enamel paints.
Yeah,
Acrylic.
they said it was acrylic enamel.
I was looking at it. It
How
looks like
does
they're
that-
used for like model cars and stuff.
Yeah.
Apparently they shoot perfectly through an airbrush. We learned about these paints yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're experts now.
Yes.
Okay.
Ask us anything.
Love it.
There are 703 paints in the range.
I have to say,
Pretty broad.
the
We have no idea. It was he just made it.
Okay. It could be.
They have some really cool like color shift paints as well. SMS. It's the one thing I've always wanted to like try and experiment with because I've heard they're really good.
Brent from Goober Town's paint reviews are wild. Like,
But Brent is a scientist.
yeah,
Like,
okay. So if anyone's gonna
Yeah.
fully like it, I guess that's the thing, isn't it? It really does feel like scientific method. Did you
Yeah.
feel like you were somewhat inspired or influenced by him in your? Because you did a recent paint review where you sort of did.
Yeah, it was over a year ago, but yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were inspired by that one specifically. I think it was more of a. I think you were our big inspiration actually for that.
Oh, well, yeah,
because
buddy.
you did
Why?
the big
Yeah,
paint,
yeah.
Every marker.
Yeah, every
yeah,
paint
yeah,
marker.
yeah. Okay.
And we
I
wanted
had to
try.
analyze your videos for
Really?
like a week.
That's
made me-
hard to make content.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it did so well because we're watching this 20-minute video. I'm like, all I'm doing is drawing on, like, coloring the repetitive gradients on pages. Like, so we just had to, like, record skits
Yeah.
and be like, oh, I'm tired. Like, you know, how do you make it
You
interesting?
saw Sarah did the same thing.
I feel like it's easier for us because we used them on miniatures and we did grand reveal between every like paint line.
And that was
release.
it was a really cool method because it
Yeah.
felt like it gave everything a fair go, but
Yeah.
also
we got
was
so many comments though. It's like, how can you say you didn't like it if you only painted it with 4 hours? It's like,
Because you can tell. You can tell the
you can
first
feel,
5
yeah.
minutes.
Oh,
You can tell the
yes,
first
you can.
2 brush strokes
Yeah.
if the paint
Yeah.
is bad or not.
I could name drop good and bad paints in Rangers.
Yeah,
pretty
they can
easily.
check our.
we
video.
can't do that because the bad ones might sponsor us. So
No, I'll tell you a really good one then.
I'm joking. I'm such a
You know what's
fucking
a really nice paint? I was very happy when Games Workshop brought out Corvus Black, and it was like the
How's it
first.
different to?
It's not black. It's basically like one shade lighter than black. So it
Yeah.
is now the perfect paint to paint black. So you can still shade it and highlight it.
But at the same day, Games Workshop also has the worst black of all the paint
Abaddon
ranges.
black.
Yeah. Which
It's
is
the
not black.
worst
It's
black,
like
yeah.
a dark brown.
I feel like it's the first time I've said Abaddon ever, and I feel like it's because I'm outnumbered.
You know,
Because
no,
you say Abaddon,
no, I say a bad one.
a bloody.
Oh, he is a bad one. That would
No,
make
but
you
sense.
say Abaddon, don't you?
Abaddon.
Abaddon.
What?
I've always,
Abaddon
all my
is-
life, I've said Abaddon.
But I spoke in phone with Gary Morley, who used to be a sculptor at Games Workshop, and he said in the 90s everyone laughed about it, like when they made up the name, just called him a bad one.
Yeah.
So that's the way I call him,
Abaddon.
a bad one.
He's Abaddon.
It's meant to be Abaddon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I say Abaddon. Abaddon.
Spoiler.
Mr. Abaddon.
I am.
Such a character, such a funny character.
Yeah.
I am.
I don't know. What does he say? What's his catchphrase?
I like and subscribe.
Yeah, bloody go on. All right. Okay. Projects you would like to do that are thematically a little too far out to be able to justify on YouTube for our niches.
Yeah.
Go on.
Stuff that makes for shitty videos. I mean,
That you just want to do.
yeah.
Golden Demon entries.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, just take. Yeah, I don't know.
Imagine like actually just being like, all right, production be damned.
Yeah.
Let's
It'll
do
take
it.
a month
I'm
and
just
just
gonna
do
take a
shitty
month and do a
videos, yeah.
paint a miniature, like a
Yeah.
full month. It's absurd, but it.
I
pretty
feel
cool.
like the freehand video that we did was a little bit like that.
I spent 6 hours painting freehands.
But you are not normal.
Yeah, but you can't look at me and say shit
No,
like
okay,
that.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. For a normal person
Yes.
who doesn't paint 2 freehands on a Warlord Titan in 5 minutes, I feel like that video was the video
Hey, I painted 2 Titans in one day.
Yeah, but
How many people can say they've done that?
I'll try.
Like, I didn't think the video would perform, to be honest.
Yeah.
I thought it
thumbnail
would
was
be a
killer.
bad video, but I really wanted to do it, so I gave myself the time to paint the freehand, and that was really
cool.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your thumbnail was killer on that.
But
I liked
but
it.
that was
Thank you.
it always had a chance at being a well clickable video, right?
Yeah.
So what would be one that doesn't have the same sort of opportunity that you would like to do?
We made it have that opportunity because originally the plan was just to have Lucas paint 2 freehands, but then we're like, I'm not sure it's going to be a good video, so it could be a little bit better if we challenge me to do something, and I really wanted to do it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't know what else would be fun. A Mordheim table.
It's always just really self-indulgent. See, like a Wartime table would do really well on our channel.
Yeah, it would be great on
And the
ours as
aesthetic
well.
would
But
be really,
that's,
really
that's
fun.
one of the video series I want to do.
All right, well,
Let's
I'll
both
go
work
to
on a big
Sweden.
project around the
I'll
same
come
theme
for
at the
2
same
weeks.
time.
And
Yes.
yes, there you go.
You and me.
We have the board start. Like we have the rough
sketch.
size shape thing
That's
of
so
it.
cool.
All right,
Trent,
it's
has Trent
organised.
gone?
Yeah, he left. He came
bastard.
and then 2 comments later.
Then it
he
was like,
left.
bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Yeah, bye, Trent. Bye. I would love to sink my teeth into something like ZBrush or like just digital sculpting.
Oh yeah.
Really hard to find a
Line
way to.
up.
I am up there
Line
with
up, mate.
you.
That's my niche.
Nah, it's a bit, well, I mean, because you do a lot of structural modeling.
I'm getting into sculpting too.
Okay.
It's easier to learn that side of Blender first. But ZBrush is different. ZBrush is more advanced.
I'm interested in seeing if Codon's any good, which I think is the VR equivalent of ZBrush, which I think it has a lot of the dynamic mesh capabilities, but isn't as extensive as ZBrush. But if there's some sort of compatibilities, it'd be really cool to muck around with. But I don't know how to make it clickbaity, so can't really do it.
Also, it's very time expensive.
Timing.
Time expensive.
Time expensive. That's an interesting
I
way to
find
put
it.
You know what I
like,
mean.
I shock myself
That is what
sometimes
it
with
means.
how like abruptly like blunt I am about the use of my time and also being clickbaity on YouTube.
Yeah,
but
but-
the reality is, like, when you have 12 people in this building whose
Yeah.
livelihoods depend on that, it's just like there's no time to beat around the bush. You got to do 2 videos a week and make them clickable. That's it.
I find the comments funny when people like clickbait. I will not click again, and then they
Yeah.
click the next video and write the exact same comment. It's like,
Yeah.
but you did click again.
I think as
that's-
long like
I like it. You can click on them and view their
clickbait
comment
is
history.
a spectrum,
Yeah, and
right? There's
Bait and switch is like the bad kind.
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
My opinion.
And
then
legit bait is
click
the-
and enticement.
yeah.
I think is the
As long as you're delivering satisfaction
Yeah.
to the same level that you're promising some sort of satisfaction or interest,
Yeah.
then you're good. But like the video we did where I'm like, how many pens can I draw at the same time? And it looks like I've drawn with 10 at the same time.
Yeah.
And the whole video was a lead up to a skit where I fake it, but it was so fun. Like, we had so much fun filming it and doing this
Yeah.
epic 80s montage, and literally had a drone in the warehouse with me holding 21, because it was sponsored by 21 Draw. So I had
Video.
made a giant rod that held 21 pens that I was like doing this with the drone shot that we in post made all these like drawings slowly appear with a fake time lapse.
God,
And
Gareth
then-
did so good on that edit. We like really meanly
know-
put a red light on one side and a blue light on the other, so all of the pieces of paper he had to color match individually for when the drawing was being done. And he's like, "This is fucking horrible." It took like 2 hours.
Yeah. Dude, YouTube language drop.
Sorry.
Yeah, but honestly, I think people know when the production is something you're really having a ball with, and you take them on that journey, and no one come, and they've got millions of views, and not a single person said, well, you didn't do what you did in the thumbnail. It was a lie. It was a blatant lie, and it was a fun video, and no one complained. So, like, you know, it's
And then you actually did it, just not with 21 pens.
Yeah.
with 4.
With 4, which would have been 5 if you'd waited another week.
Yeah. Gareth slides in right in time to be like, yeah, you did do a bloody great job, I agree. Hi, Gareth. How you going, man? Roush says, what if Jazza designed a 3D mini for Squidmar's line of minis, and Squidmar sculpted a custom squad for Jazza's
custom.
Astral Bear?
I'm going to be bold
Mate.
and say I don't think either of you would be able to make anything that either of you would be up to your standards for your mini. Like, Jazza just said he can't 3D sculpt. And I don't, like, Emma, can you 3D sculpt personally?
Yeah, I'm really good at it.
Oh, there you go. Okay, well, maybe
Can
you
you
go
make a
one way.
squad of Astral
He-
Bears with
except
all
for-
that free time you've got for my passion project, Space
why
Bear
not?
Army?
These are lies.
The eyes of pure avoiding
Just
discomfort
imagine
in a
it's
live
like,
stream.
it's like Champions of Sona, this beautiful lineup of Champions of Sona, and then like the first model Jazza ever designed, and then it's like Space Bear's new launch, like the
But,
first
I
Sona.
can't
but
wait
there's a
to-
difference between like designing, but they're asking me to sculpt it.
Yeah, that's the yeah.
Like, sure, I can conceptualize and have someone help me like sculpt it, but I can't. have never touched ZBrush.
Hmm.
I don't know how to 3D
What
sculpt.
about physical sculpting? Like,
Yeah, I can do mustaches and
yeah.
kneecaps and
Nice.
stuff like
You've
that.
got a mustache on one of Jazz's space bears, and that would be kind of
Yeah.
Oh my god. The word Spice Marines popped into my head for something. And I feel like,
Mr.
what is?
52
How can one
miniatures.
customize an army to be
We-
spicy so that
I
one
was-
could
I
name
thought
their
Spice
leader?
I thought
Girls.
Spice Girls.
I thought Spice Girls.
Yeah, that's what
I'm
I was
like,
thinking.
oh, it's Scary Marine.
You've
It's
got,
Scary
the,
Marine.
you've got the orcs that
Is
play
this?
guitar.
I feel like we
they
just.
called?
This is a good
Goth
video.
Rocker.
Goth Rocker.
I'm writing
You
this
just have the
down.
spice-
Who's down to make the Spice Marines?
Not me.
Can we talk about 52 miniatures? Because we just
Murray
talked
can
about
do
him
it.
before we started the stream.
As soon as you go, Murray, I've got your next assignment.
He's in chat. He'll be here to say
Hey
no.
Murray, are you down for the Spice Marines? Let me know.
And who's doing sporty? Who's doing cute baby Spice?
I would be so down for this. Scary as chaos.
Adam
So-
says Squidmar should do his Retro Orc Army versus Jazz's Retro Blood Angels as a series. First, Jazz would need to do his Retro Blood Angels.
And I would have to do my
That is
orcs.
so-
I've got like 5 minis.
Be fun,
painted.
though.
That is so the epitome of like that. That is how I enjoy my spare time. Is once a month I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna do this thing, and I'll get the thing, and the feeling of elation and dopamine is received, and it's really fun to buy the entire box set of Gloomhaven and the entire organization set that you structure to organize Gloomhaven, so that when you play this massive game, you can put it back in neatly in its compartments. That I spent a whole day on a weekend building and neatly organizing everything, and now it's neatly in a drawer in that, waiting for me to play when I'm 80. So, you know, but that's like, so the Blood Angels was like, I'm finding all of these things for like getting them and I made a video for my birthday, and I've got all of that sitting there, and now it's like, well, I'm going to get time to do that. Yeah. But I'm glad to have them. But it's the same thing. You guys are using Blackstone Fortress. That was one of my impulsive, like,
Yep.
yeah.
And it's really weird.
So the answer
Did
is,
you
what
just
do I
tease
do
the
with my
video?
spare time? I irresponsibly spend a little bit of money on something I would like to do in more spare time that I'm not going to get time to do. There you go.
Or you work on things that you've not had time to do that you want to work
That's
on. We
true.
literally commented yesterday about making an annual tradition of you redoing this set for your birthday every year.
Yeah, and there's so much I want to do for the table for my birthday this year. I'm glad that we got this. Like,
It really works well. Yeah.
I'm chuffed that we've, it needs a bit of cleaning up, and but
It's not bad for like an hour.
pretty good.
I want to do something for a certain person in chat, and that was first of all, hello 52 miniatures.
Hello.
Oh, hey.
But also, Spontaneous Squiggle it says, hi 52 miniatures, big fan of your videos. Spontaneous Squiggle is Murray from Tabletop Time. So Murray from Tabletop Time says, hello 52 miniatures, I'm a big fan of your videos. So
Where
there
is
you go.
he? Where did he say that?
It's right
Spontaneous Squiggle.
I'm scrolling through.
He's
His spontaneous squiggle.
Yeah. So I was
That's
just
Murray?
saying that so that then 52 minis
cool.
knew that it was Murray.
We were talking admiringly about your content a moment ago, actually before the stream. 52
yeah.
miniatures. So
And we
love your stuff.
do you want
Actually,
to tell how
ask-
it started?
How did it start?
No, it started with you were telling us.
Murray
that-
linked the video the other week of him talking about how he was
Oh, the
working on-
Titans
No,
reference.
this- no,
Yes.
no,
Not a
Titan
video
projects.
about Warlord Titans.
Yeah, I love it. That's so good. It's nice though, isn't it? Because it is. I actually think that's one of the coolest things about 52 Minis content
Yeah.
is it's about the grounded
Yeah.
approach in the hobby. It's about, and it feels like what it feels like to settle down with a cup of tea and to paint some
Yeah.
minis, which is really cool.
No, he's lovely.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
Love his videos.
What are we?
Nothing. You don't want to know. Trust me, you don't want to know. Don't
reach
even
out.
engage. There's no trust here. He needed to know. I said, trust me, you don't need to know.
I'm looking.
He's going
now.
back in. The
And
video.
now he's scrolling through everything.
What is it?
So,
catching leak.
you know, I have a thing where I wanted to bring up, which
Is that a
was
reference to something in particular?
Just ask.
Just
ask
leave
the
it.
question.
leave it. Just leave it lie.
Ask the question.
You can ask me, and
I
I can
know
tell
what.
you.
I'm trying to segue.
Are you serious?
The
You don't
segue's
know
here.
what
I
it
know
means?
what it's referencing.
Yeah.
Yeah, when someone has Ligma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ligma balls.
Yeah, yeah. I know.
I had to make sure.
Yeah. Someone had to say it to complete it.
I love that he followed it up with "got him with Ligma." I also love
Class-
that
an
the
oldie but a
laugh
goodie.
just went around the table as
Yeah.
we all read it.
Yeah.
So I didn't read the chat first, and then you guys started.
Hello from Australia. Best of luck with all the videos. This is from Spectre7573. And what is your opinion on 3D recast Forge World stuff? And love all of your channels.
Yeah.
Thank you. And
I mean, I've had this discussion.
Spicy.
I think 3
Wicked,
times.
yeah,
this
controversial.
weekend, so I kind of know where. I
oh
stand
yeah,
on
you were
this.
in the ground zero of the demographic of people with opinions on this. What?
Yeah.
Billison.
So I don't think it's black and white. And it's a very long discussion. But for me, it's kind of like if it's a limited edition figure, or if it's a miniature that's still sold today, especially if it's sold by like an indie company, like never buy a recast. If it's a miniature that is inspired by and played as, I think it's quite fine to buy like a 3D printed file and print it. If it's a direct copy, then like, come on, guys. And if it's a like regular old metal miniature that's not sold today, you can't buy it, but there is a like someone cast in metal and put it out on eBay for $5, then go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
opinion.
very actually kind of tangential to this, but it's the same
Yeah.
question. What kind of has been annoying me a lot is this like weird 3D printer superiority culture
yeah.
that's like dissing on people for wanting to own the legitimate thing. It's like it's okay. It is okay if people buy Forge World, even if Forge World has problems and is very expensive. It is okay for people to spend their money like that. They're not stupid. They want the legitimate thing.
Yeah.
They're allowed
No,
to
I
spend
agree.
their hard-earned money however they want to spend it. You know,
That's the
and it
thing.
annoys me with like, you could just 3D print it. It's like, what if you don't want to use 3D printing? 3D printing is an awful hobby. It is time-consuming, messy. It is way more
And it's
expensive than people present it to
really
be.
costly. If you want to print a Warlord Titan, you're
That's a
easily
lot of
up on like just the resin cost is like $600.
And assuming
It's not
everything
gonna
goes
look as
perfect.
good. It's not gonna look as good, and you're probably gonna have to reprint a lot of parts, and that's gonna cost
And
you even more.
you'll have to print the equivalent twice because half your prints will be failed. Because
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
And the print
And it will
beds are-
shatter.
Yeah.
Like if it breaks, it will shatter like
Yeah.
glass,
Yeah.
and you'll never get it back the way it was. There are so many reasons why 3D printing is good for some people, but it's not the perfect solution.
Oh look, and it's such a like, you know, elements of all these hobbies have such varieties to how you would approach them. And like, even though we do a lot of 3D printing and painting in different
It's a
methods
tool,
and speeds, at the same time, like I started to get into like role playing and getting stuff together to play with my son, who's like 5, 8, 6.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I know he's 7.
Turning
and he
8.
turns 8.
He's
yeah.
turning 8. Great dad moment on the internet here. But I wanted to play with minis, and I have all the resources in the world to get files, print them, even paint them quickly. Even if I really wanted to, ask someone to paint them for a day. You know what I mean? Like, but I just bought all those pre-colored plastic D&D minis that are way too overpriced, and I love them. They're great. It's exactly what I want because they're quick, they're easy, they're simple, they're light, they won't break, and it's zero effort.
I
or
will.
time.
I will throw out there. I agree with because there's people now sort of. I agree 100% on proxying and stuff being fine. I also don't think that I don't have a problem with people 3D printing armies, and I get that it's good for some people. It's just that attitude of people being like,
gatekeeping.
you're wrong
Yeah.
if you don't 3D print. 3D printing is definitely the answer, and you're stupid if you don't do it. It's like some people actually like buying plastic kits. Resin is.
I like buying plastic.
And I'm a converter,
Yeah.
and converting with plastic is so good.
yeah,
like shaving
yeah,
models
yeah,
down.
yeah,
Oh,
And-
Absolutely.
And we have this discussion pretty much every week how much we hate painting 3D printed models.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like they can be really beautiful now like the frozen Sonic printers are insane. But there is something different painting the material. Like the brush doesn't follow them quite
And
as
just
well.
handling
plastic
the
mirror,
minis, not
mini.
having to worry about like, oh shit, I dropped the mini 10
Yeah.
centimeters to the desk
Yeah.
and it's shattered.
A lot of it, and it is psychological. Like even like just knowing that and affecting how you have to feel about putting something down affects how you feel about picking up and painting it, and then your whole experience. Yeah.
I 3D print a lot of models at home. I've got a 3D printer. I 3D print a lot of D&D minis. A lot of amazing creators make really cool stuff.
God, half our shelf is 3D printed.
I custom sculpt bits
You guys sell
for my
3D
own
printing
stuff.
miniatures.
Yeah.
Like I sculpt stuff for my heresy stuff that there's no models for, and I print it. Like I totally use it. It's only the attitude of like you're dumb for buying a Warhound Titan.
I mean, you kind of are, but
But not because of 3D printing.
Yeah, not because of 3D printing.
yeah.
But do you know why I bought I buy Titans because me when I was 12
One-on-one.
dreamed of
Yeah.
owning a Titan. I mean, we
was the
recently
bone
I'm buying a
grinding
Lego
argument for me.
kit that I always wanted because it's like that's the perk of being an adult.
Yeah.
A majority
1997
of
UFO
everything we're
Starfighter.
doing is trying to
Appease that.
but yeah, 100%. Like buying all those Blood Angel units, even if I'm not going to paint or redo that anytime soon,
Yeah.
owning them is enough to feel like I'm reconnecting with that part of my passion. You
That's
know?
my Hero Quest collection.
Yeah, 100%, man. Do you know, back on the recasting side of things that we were discussing, I really found Trent's recent video very interesting, and I thought it was really cool. Like, first of all, the way he openly was just sort of like, is it legit? I don't know, maybe not, depends on how you look at it. But I also found it really interesting that he sort of followed on from that. You then went to AI art and then made a thing with AI art and then gave that out or sold it as, and it's like, I use Nurgle, which is a copyrighted sort of term, and it generated from copyright references original material that I used as a reference to make original material. And it was just a really cool way to change the topic while keeping it in the same field of discussion and to further highlight the grey area that we're all in. And the reality is it's not, recasting is evil, and it's also not AI art is evil. There are really legit grey areas here that are worth discussing, but also worth keeping in mind that you can't just shout at it and say it's wrong and be that
Unless
way.
Games Workshop did want to invite me to an event in England, as previously discussed in the stream, in which case then all of it is awful and you should never do it.
Andy, you heard it here the second time. You know who you are.
52 Minutes just says hanging out in game stores looking at boxes is a big thing of the hobby for me.
Oh my God.
Do you know what was a big thing for a hobby for me? Looking in cabinets.
Yeah.
And the first things I got for this room was 2 big cabinets that we have full now, which I freaking love
did the
because
same.
I was often as a kid too nervous to go into the shops.
Yeah.
But I could walk in front of the cabinets for an hour and just look at the... And I think I walked around yours for like a good half hour the first time I went to your shop.
Hey.
Like 100%, like so cool
I-
to see that sort of thing.
This prompts probably one of my best soul food experiences at ARC was standing back like 20 meters from the Titan table when no one knew you were there and watching people do the thing where they like their eyes wide and then they're like leaning in and looking just because they've never had the opportunity to even see Titans in the flesh. And they had the look on their face as me, and it just took me back to being like 14 and walking into a Warhammer store and looking at the tables that none of your friends could ever make. You're playing on carpet on the floor, and just being like, I was like that. Whoa! And it made me love the hobby, and I'm like, oh my God, I have just made people love the hobby.
Dude, you
create
not
that
only
with
that,
Fury
like
as well, I feel like.
what you've created, I think for some people will be like a little pilgrimage. People going to House of War to play on that board to experience
store
that
right now,
scale.
and it's getting even more insane.
Yeah.
They
Well,
have
I mean, it's
so
sort
much
of like
stuff.
it's our little version
Like,
of Warhammer
Yeah,
World.
but even for me, like it's not 1,000 different minis there, but they have like Roman Gruba 2 busts that he's painted. They have a piece from Kaha. They have a piece from Mark Masklan. It's not his best piece, but they had one from a workshop he did there. Like painted the front of the mini and the back is unpainted, but it doesn't matter. I could go there and like pick up one of Mark's minis and hold it and look like how does he
Most
paint?
people might not be able to hold the minis.
Yeah, they do. They let them out. If they
Okay.
stand around, they can like look at the minis, and it's quite amazing. And now they have like the big table. They also have our Thunderhawk, and
What they're gonna get
it's just
next.
gonna get more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rancid Fever asks, favorite project you've worked on, and what would be your perfect passion project if money and time was no issue?
I want to go first.
I'll go first.
Opposite way.
Mine is would be Gate Crash, which is like, I think when I conceptualized the name before we had any material, and I literally like I came up with the name Gate Crash in the shower, primarily because I knew I wanted to start like to do game dev and that sort of thing, and I was thinking a lot about 40K. The words 40K, the way they sound and feel to say 40K just are cool. Like 40K, there's a strength to it. It's cool. And I was just playing around with that sort of thing. And when I hit Gate Crash, I sort of thought there's something there. Like I thought it was really cool. And I had enough interest in it because it could be a story. It feels cool to say, and it sounds like a mechanic or something you could lean into that you could develop into a mechanism. Yeah. So that's where it sort of started. And I founded the company before we had anything to put behind it. But it was sort of like my way to be like committing to making a bigger thing. Yeah. And the idea is like, and that's what I've gotten most satisfaction out of. It's the hardest thing to sort of get to, but every time we've gotten to it, every piece we add to it feels really substantial and it survives. It sits there and has built it, right? And every time we've been able to put in a bit more time, or like we made the poster and then we got the layered version of the poster and made the video of it all panning and expanding and it just feels like huge, like this real thing that exists. And like each of those parts of the process for me is immensely satisfying. And the idea of like making, you know, a Gate Crash lunchbox is exciting. You know what I mean? Like everything feels like it could be a really cool thing. So I'd love to like build a universe. Yeah. Basically.
It's a cool one.
Oh, what, me?
Yeah.
Favorite project I've worked on? Probably the Titan board. That ended up being so satisfying and actually being the first project that other people have been able to enjoy.
That's cool.
Because I'm treating it as like finished project that I've worked on. And what would I love to do? Perfect passion project you do with money and time. I'm gonna say not on the channel, so I'm just gonna say me. There's just probably a bunch of like doing my my Titan, but doing it the way that the Titans you see where it's done ridiculously. Like every panel
the previous
is a
Titan
gold
that you
demon.
had that goal for, has that just upgraded to a bigger Titan?
No, because
Or
I just bought a Reaver.
the same one. So you're doing the same.
I'm not sure. I'm torn because the Reaver is more of a showcase Titan because I'll never use it in a game, but the Warhound is more of a like I'd actually play with that in Heresy because it's usable.
Yeah.
So it serves more merit to like do a more normal paint job on the Warhound.
Yeah.
I have two. The first one was actually the Sister Knight. Was like one of my favorite things to work on because it just went together so well, and I was really happy with the end result. And it was one of those things that like I was just really happy with the whole process. The other thing that I did that is a personal project was I painted a Lariel on she's like a chick on a beetle. And it was the first
Good explanation.
She got a beetle.
she's great. But it was the first big mini Pikachu I painted, and I also didn't paint it to box standards, as in like I painted something completely different. So she's in an autumn theme. And
Can you look her
colours
up?
are so
Can
different.
we put her in the back? I want to see what
She's
Alario.
beauty.
It's a gorgeous model.
Search for Squidmar.
Can you just
Ariel.
Google chick on a beetle and see?
No, I don't know if that's okay.
It'll be if you put it into
Oh, you
Is this
did,
your
yeah.
one?
Yeah, I've done one.
Yeah.
if you put it into Dali, you'd get like a little yellow fluffy chicken on
You're
it.
right. It is.
standing on a
It is
beetle.
in fact a squid. This is
There you
this
go.
is from
Oh,
the
you got-
website Squidmar.
You got
Never
it.
heard of it.
I think there's.
There's
Good paint
holy
jobs, dude.
crap, dude! You can paint.
This was like.
I mean,
think
it's all right, I guess.
I don't want to brag, but that was the first miniature I completely finished.
Oh, what?
It's just such a nice model.
I
adore it.
repainted it like
Very,
2 times.
very brag worthy. It's
Yeah.
very cool. That's her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would not have summarized that as chick on a beetle, but
that's
go on.
What do you call this at the bottom, Jazza?
I can't see. Can you zoom in?
No.
It's
Nah.
a bloody.
You could plus zoom in.
I call it a winged angel standing upon the back of a carapaced creature.
There we go.
A goddess of the forest.
But
Hey,
yeah.
you got chops. Go on, keep going. Read something.
I was just gonna say something very inappropriate.
Don't swear with a sultry, deep voice.
She does have
Savory.
the big, powerful legs.
Yeah. Yeah, she's
A
standing on a
strong, powerful goddess of the forest, mounted on a, I don't know,
Stag beetle
Rhinoceros?
on a
Yeah.
big stag.
on a creature worthy of 1,000 men.
Do you want to do the opening for our next battle report?
What quantifies the beetle's worthiness of 1,000 men? Is the beetle worthy of
It could
owning,
slay
of
1,000
slaying?
men, yeah.
Slaying. Okay.
But I am not the best at forming sentences at 11 o'clock in the evening in my
It is
second
10:30.
language.
We
Yeah.
should. We could probably give it another 15, 20. And
Yeah,
then
I'm
we'll-
down.
Yeah.
Well, yes. What is your dream projects and favorite projects?
Oh, I feel like I'm doing them.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize you weren't
fine.
finished. What's your project
go.
you want to finish?
We all got very distracted by Chicken and Beetle.
I want to remake my Dark Elder Army.
You want to remake your Dark Elder army? Well, you know what I say about that. Finish your sisters
Yeah, I
first. It's like a motto for us.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go quick. We're doing a lot of our favorite projects, so
Yeah.
it's like the world that we're building, just like you, and a Mordheim table, and maybe a.
But sort of
Space
honestly,
Army.
if like time and money wasn't an issue, I'd
Yeah.
probably just go travel and fish
Yeah.
everywhere.
Let's
Say bleep it to miniature painting and just fish.
So you're like, if time and money were no issue, I would quit on your ass so hard.
All day.
All right.
I
Did you
feel
have a
now
favorite
hurt.
project?
I have had a hand in so many projects
Hmm.
behind the scenes where sometimes there's some of the stuff I do doesn't even make it into the video.
Yeah.
So like to pick any one thing, I don't think I could actually do, to be honest.
Really?
No, there's too many. Because I literally dabble in every channel in some way, shape, or form.
Was it surely there'd be something that comes to mind as to the contribution or involvement that you're most proud of, or
Being a horse.
It's probably not being a horse. Especially because the first time I got recognized at PAX, he's like, I feel like I know you, but don't you normally wear a horse mask? Weird intro. No, I honestly don't know. I'd have to look back at all of the random stuff we've done because there's just weird parts that I do.
I really like your old cameo stuff from the old studio, like flipping the camera and then you sort of see your face in the background somewhere.
It does
What was
happen.
it?
Like it's like I don't know when
Many
were you at an
years
old
ago.
location, like
I remember.
right when you started, like
And you'd be in the background, just
like lifting a lamp
Yeah,
and then
doing
like
something.
the
Oh,
cameraman
yeah.
flipping the camera and you'd see
like Gareth
like,
would turn the
yeah.
camera around and you'd be doing something in the background.
Yeah.
You go back even further than that with your old your live stream videos.
I told them today about how you reminded me that like I used to make you leave when I filmed
yeah.
because I got too sharp,
Yeah.
like I got too nervous.
This is like
filming
a
in front of
decade
people.
ago, mind you.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
like 2013. He'd make me leave the room so he could do his intros because he was nervous.
I've been there too.
Yeah.
Now he doesn't care.
No, I have zero self-respect anymore. NZ says, sorry, you were going to say
I can't think of a single project that I would say is my favorite.
that
What's
you
his
what about you
dream
want to? Yeah,
project
yeah. You didn't
without
get to say
time or
that.
money? And is it to buy and own a house?
Yes.
I knew it.
Build a house with your own bare hands.
Do you know the property value in my area doubled in a single month? Doubled.
Do you like that?
That is
doesn't own a house.
$220,000 worth of value.
He doesn't
in a month.
own the house, so no, he doesn't like that.
Rest in peace, house.
Yeah, that's not happening.
NZ said, Amazon and Henry Cavill building a 40k universe. Will it do the hobby and lore justice or have to be cut down to bring in the non-hobby viewers? That's a good question.
Cut it down and bring them in.
Yeah, definitely.
Will they do it?
Okay, so here's
Was
my
that your
take on
should
it.
they do it answer?
I mean, yeah.
Amazon is amazing at making, established. Established franchises into really shitty TV shows.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings. Wheel of Time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just to start with those. They've done one series good, and that's The Boys, and the rest is just horrible.
First season of
But
Jack
yeah,
Rachel was good.
I enjoy them because I enjoy shitty TV series. Lucas don't, but I mean, it's like have no expectations, and Games Workshop have a very high frequent. You know, they're very good at disappointing people too.
Here's a spicy way to open up that conversation further. Had you finished your thought, or am I interrupting you?
No, go ahead.
This is touchy. This may be politically incorrect to discuss, but I'd be interested to know what people's thoughts are, or if it's just worth not discussing. When you look at the franchise 40K, it is very old-fashioned in its thinking. They've tried to move it forward. They've introduced factions and lore and things that open up, especially on the gender diversity side of things. But it's still very much stuck.
Yeah.
So
In many
there
different
isn't
areas.
much they could do without being a huge leap and difference from what is currently accepted in the community.
Yeah.
That's not to say that's right or wrong. It's just what it is. So for it to, if they opened up too much in line with what non-Warhammer people's experience of media is, it would be a huge leap from what Warhammer people's experience is. So,
I think that if they presented it well, that would be why it would have a chance at being successful without changing things in that way.
so unapologetically sticking to
It is a
what it is.
satire.
Yeah.
Owning it being a satire and making it grim, dark, and horrible. And you can have your acceptance and inclusion by... I think the funniest thing with Warhammer acceptance and inclusion is none of it matters. Like the idea of like, do they even care if two guardsmen men are in love? No, they don't give a shit. As long as they hold a rifle and point it at an alien, that's all that matters. They go, you whatever you do in your measly life doesn't matter as long as it's in service of the Emperor. I think on the whole show, the only way it's going to have any chance of success is if it is something like Eisenhorn. It needs to be gritty, grim, super accessible, but like in the way that the Expanse is.
And that allows for a more even, because I think the biggest gap is the lack of female Space Marines, really. Like,
Sure.
no? Well, I mean, in terms of what
That just would feel like pandering, I think, at this point.
But honestly,
what
it's
would
like
having-
an after construct that
The
they're all
thing
male.
they need to do that, but no, I don't. But they need to not put a Space Marine in it at all.
and that's what I was,
Space
that's what I was
Marine.
saying. Is like actually not going, because it's the what Space Marines are is so high on the echelon of in that universe's
Warhammer,
power that it's like doing it at that should be extreme anyway, and it's such an extreme that if they try to make it normal by balancing everything, it's not going to work.
They
doing
can-
what you're saying
We have
is
a
like,
comment here. Leave out politics. It's like the entire thing with Warhammer is politics. Like,
But the thing is, right, you could do, like, you just have to represent it well in a modern way. So the whole thing with, like, if you want to do it in a TV show and not change anything, Sisters of Battle and Space Marines, just ham up the fact the Space Marines are monks. Make them weird. They shouldn't be relatable and cool. They should be like brother, I am from Garajas.
Yeah.
And they should be like, you should be like, who is this guy? I don't want to talk to him. He's weird. He smells like oil and sweat.
Yeah.
And then the sisters should be like fanatical nuns. And they should be like, sister, you're an honor. Because they're both insane religious zealots.
Yeah.
And that's what they are. They're not here. Good 40K fiction, people are almost as terrified as Space Marines. They're also described as being ugly as anything. They're not beautiful. They have like broad Neanderthalan mutated, genetically altered features. They are not what they are sometimes presented to be.
But if you want to make it like entry level people that aren't into the hobby
Don't put a Space Marine in it.
at all,
God, no.
what would you follow?
I
What's the
think
winner?
there are ways to get Space Marines in there without them being part of the story. Like you can have like a dead Space Marine lying on the ground.
Yeah.
You can
Or
have
just
them
the
shown
fact
on
that-
like TV screens in the background and stuff like
Like-
that.
or even like orcs or aliens or like
I wouldn't do any of that.
Really?
I would season one. So you have Eisenhorn, who is basically a grungy noir space detective who hunts out heresy. Season one, you put it on something relatable and understandable. So you go, okay, it's on a penal colony on a moon. So it's like a prison world where everyone's shitty and ugly and horrible. And then you have him basically rooting out like a chaos cult. And then you can introduce the stuff like even spaceships. You just see like a docking station. You don't want to have big space battles. You don't want to have aliens everywhere. You build up to the idea that
problem
there's
is
a witch with
everyone
chaos.
thinks
and,
they do want that. And Henry Cavill himself in interviews has sort of been like, someone sort of said, oh, you could be Eisenhorn. He's like, yeah, but why be Eisenhorn when you could be, Rogaldor or whatever it is, whatever. I think you said
If
That's
you
when
want
you
to
get into the sort of touchy area, because if you're sort of including Primarchs and
Yeah.
big names, then you have to include the whole story.
Yeah.
And you can't include the whole 40k story.
the thing with a
What are you talking
vehicle
about?
like
They're smashing 15 Wheel of Time books into 6 seasons.
Wild
They can get as
time.
much in there as they want.
in their natural habitat, devouring
the
the
good-
corpses of children.
the thing about like a
It was
vehicle like
tyrannic
Eisenhorn,
female laying
if
2,000 eggs.
if Henry,
Arc 40, am I right?
I think the thing with Eisenhorn as a vehicle though,
Bear Grylls, sorry.
at the end,
I can't believe I'm gonna eat this Tyranid spleen, but if I'm gonna survive the night. Sorry, Dave.
I was just gonna say, because most of our audience probably cares about talking about
Yeah,
40k,
okay.
is that Eisenhorn is a fantastic vehicle for this, because season 1 you introduce at the very end of the season a Chaos Cult. Sure, you can have a Space Marine. I would love it if he calls in a Death Watch guy in the last episode, and all you see is them massacre people in like way overkill, grenades, flamers. It's horrifying, and everyone's like crying in the alleyways after they
And
leave.
that's the thing, like you can include one Space Marine because
Yep.
they're a one-man army. Like
Yep.
one Space Marine is 1,000 guardsmen.
Just
Like,
have him call in one Death
Yeah.
Watch at the end to deal with the chaos thing that gets out of hand. And then season 2, it's Gene Stealers. And now we can slowly introduce, hey,
I
there's
like
aliens.
that.
There's
I like
aliens
that.
now.
So it's basically Mandalorian.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's how they need to do it. Mandalorian, but really serious and dark, but also satire. So it needs to be over the top.
Too serious and too dark to the point where you're like, can't take it seriously, and it's awesome.
Yeah,
that,
it.
that sounds great. I think it's a
But it
really,
won't happen.
really cool take on it, and it won't happen because Space Marines sell.
Yeah.
And then, it'll get messy, and
it's-
they
Did
won't.
you guys
I don't
watch
think
The
they'll do it
Witcher?
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tried.
You didn't like it? I really liked The Witcher after I got
Apparently,
into
it
it.
got better.
The first season was the best.
It took me
First
2
season's
times.
hard because you've got to span 100 years of history
Yeah.
and make them meet. So
I feel like it was a little bit like Westworld, but a little bit too complicated.
yeah, which when they released that on the Netflix website, they actually had an interactive timeline for every episode, so it would show you where you are on the timeline for each part. And like, it's shitty that it needed to be a resource to be able to understand the plot if you had no idea what was going on.
We should wrap up soon, but we actually still have a Patreon after party. We just have a little hangout with our patrons after, and I think we should just do we normally take Q&A things. We'll take little questions or requests. I reckon that should all be for you guys. I reckon because they get us every week.
Yeah.
And I reckon any patrons in our after party who want to ask a direct question
We'll be there.
to you guys can
There was
opportunity to do that.
There was a comment from Rain that just gets it, which is what it needs. It goes from a noir series to the last episode being taken straight out of Dread
Yeah,
2012.
that's cool.
And that would be the final thing is you have the whole series
It needs
of
that feeling of-
politics and maybe there's a
like,
cult, maybe there isn't. And then the last episode of Eisen's like Bolter Mag in like you're done.
Yeah.
And then
Someone wrote here as well a Rogue Trader show that could be quite.
oh my god, that would be fun.
Yeah.
But again, it's like it's not connected to the Warhammer
Yeah.
universe. They could write something.
And you can pick people up. You can be like, all right, for the first episode, we're gonna have a Mechanicus person. That's weird. But then episode 3, we pick up an Elder Exodite, and now we've got an alien.
But just imagine like Eisenhorn walking down an alley and you see like follow the Emperor propaganda or something.
Yeah.
Like
That's grungy, dirty, all of that stuff. Like, and then you have all the misery in the background that he just walks past.
Yeah.
Like someone being evicted because they haven't paid their individual tax tithes and
someone
people
being
dying in gutters.
abducted to sort of serve as the 1,000 souls.
Yeah, black ships being taken away. Some like baby being born, slightly disfigured, and Eisenhorn's just like bang, dead, done, move on.
See no slum.
Like this is
Yeah,
40k.
wow,
If you want to do it, you got to go all the way. You got to
Yeah.
shock people into going. This is something different.
Yeah.
But they would never do that. It'll
No.
be watered
be
down.
safe.
And
There's too
safe.
much offense to be avoided that it's a whole different thing to have some art and stories and minis to having it visualized in video on a mainstream platform with a celebrity. Like, yeah.
Rush's super chat. It should mix Mandalorian and Altered Carbon. That is exactly the vibe. That would be perfect.
That's
Every scene should have a rain.
Yeah, well, oh, but it should be like
Laser.
acid rain. Like, everything's so satirical.
By the end of the season, Eisenhorn doesn't have any clothes left.
Well, it's Henry Cavill, so that would probably boost ratings.
All right, I think we're going to head off to our Discord after party with patrons. Thank you all for joining. Thank you so much for joining us in our
been a pleasure.
YouTube live stream. We should do this again sometime.
It's been very lovely.
We'll do this again sometime because, as I've said in the thumbnail and title of this video, you're trapped here now.
Yeah.
So
That's what they say.
you're stuck.
Now,
We are not releasing you ever.
Emil and Lucas are of course, YouTubers. Squidmar is the channel. Go check them out for anyone who doesn't know. But I just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah.
Please
It's
do.
possible.
It's nice of you.
It's possible one or two people don't know who you are.
It's kind of
They
like
might have come from
people in
Jazz's
here
channel
not
and
knowing who Jazz is.
Well, you know what? They do that, don't they? Like
does
when
happen.
Anthony Padilla interviews people, it's like, oh, now plug something. Go on, plug something. What would you like people to know about?
I would like people to know about Brent from Goobertown Hobbies.
from Goobertown Hobbies. Okay.
Subscribe
Miniac.
to
They're very good
subscribe to
channels.
Brent and Miniac. All right, that's great.
And 52 miniatures.
What a bloody supportive community. It's nice.
Go check out the Baltic Salmon Fund to save the fishes.
Yeah.
There
Great.
you go. I like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
What would you like to plug, Jazza?
Plugs. Get plugs for your bath. Don't waste water. Or, you know. So
Check out Tabletop Time on
Plugs as
YouTube.
well.
we're going to do custom plugs.
Watch
Thanks
Tabletop
for-
Time on YouTube.
Subscribe to Tabletop Time.
Go watch the latest Titan video that we
Hey,
just
you're
put out
on
before
Tabletop
this.
Time. There's a subscribe button right bloody there. Go on.
Go do it.
All right. Thanks
All right.
all for joining. We'll
Bye.
see our patrons later.
Bye.
You got to do the ending. Yeah,
Oh,
thanks for watching.
Hold on. Thanks for watching.
Just go to the roleplay intro scene.
It's you got. It's on the right, on the left,
Yep.
and then and
All those
it
ones you
says
can
end stream or thanks for.